What's up, everyone? It's your man, Sean Zittel. Just got done covering Richard Torrez, Guido Vianello here at the Palms in Vegas. And let's get right to it, man. It was an ugly fight throughout, a lot of mauling on the inside by Richard Torrez, but
Not
very,
as ugly as that
very.
jacket, though.
No, this jacket's beautiful, man. Beautiful. Yeah. I disagree with the gentleman behind me. I think it's a beautiful jacket. But anyways, it was an ugly fight on the inside a lot, but there's a method to Richard Torrez's madness. I'm gonna get right to it. The guy he reminds me of the most in a lot of ways is my guy Sean Porter, my co-host on the Porterway podcast, Sean Porter. And there's a method to his madness, and sometimes the fights turn ugly because they could be a bull in the china shop. They're looking to get in your chest and score some of their best punches on the inside at a distance where a lot of fighters would be smothering their punches, but they're able to work effectively at that range. And yeah, Richard, like Sean, lunges in sometimes, and inevitably a counterpuncher will take advantage of that, like Crawford did with Sean. But a lot of times they're the shorter guy getting even lower than their already low profile, and they're dipping down low, and a lot of times the head's getting a little bit off the line, and they're coming over the top with punches, and they know how to punch over the top with their short arms against taller opponents. So if you're a tall opponent, you're trying to pull straight back from the shot, it has the kind of trajectory, the kind of angle that could catch you. And he was catching Guido Vianello with that a lot of looping left hands. Then he hurt him with a straight left hand and actually found the right hook. And finding the right hook, walking Vianello into right hooks while being a half foot shorter shows that there's a subtlety to Richard Torrez's game like there was with Sean. And he's not as athletic as Sean, and I'm not just saying that because he's a heavyweight. I mean pound for pound athleticism. Not as quick and as agile and as athletic as Sean. Doesn't have as busy a jab, but you see him using a lot of Usyk-like feints and movements out of the southpaw stance. You see him feigning, and he's just going to have to continue to out-cardio these guys like Usyk did. He's going to have to, those 3 or 4 feints at a time are going to have to become 5, 6, 7 feints at a time. He's going to have to be a constant ball of motion with the feints, with the upper body, and with his feet being busy against bigger fighters. And that's what he's going to have to do. That's his path to success. So do I think that, Richard Torrez is the next heavyweight champion of the world? If I had to put money on it, I'd say no, I don't. He has his limitations in size. Defensively, he's not a front foot defensive artist like Canelo or a young Mike Tyson. Sean, who I mentioned earlier, moved his head more, at welterweight. But one thing about Richard is he's an overachiever. He's going to get not 100%, but 110% out of whatever is inside of him. His intangibles are A+. He has a great character, great determination, heart. To lunge in with some of those punches against a guy with a good right hand like Vianello takes conviction and courage. And he's got that in spades. Now, is that going to be enough to overcome naturally bigger men, naturally more gifted, talented fighters, more technically precise fighters? I don't know. That remains to be seen. But, Sean Porter, Tim Bradley, too, they were undersized fighters for their weight classes that made up for it with gumption and conditioning and smarts. And, maybe Torrez can be in a similar vein to those guys in the heavyweight division. But he's a guy that, American boxing fans can get behind because he's a really good dude and has all the right intangibles. Will he ultimately hit a ceiling short of fighting for the heavyweight title or winning the heavyweight title? He may very well do that. But, ugly fight, but he hurt Vianello really good in the 8th round. Vianello, F.A. Ajagba, I talked to him after the fight. F.A. all fight long was asking for the jab from Vianello, and Vianello really only did it in the 4th and 5th round. 5th round was his best round. He touched Torrez with his best right hand of the fight. It got a reaction out of Torrez, and he bopped his head around with the jab a few times, but he couldn't do it. And that's a credit to Torrez's underrated craft, the little subtleties, the constant feigning, the positioning with his feet, getting low, getting really low, and then coming over the top with a shot that comes from an awkward trajectory. And that's part of why he hurt Vianello with a straight left hand in the 8th round, because Vianello was so used to those looping shots over the top that one got him right down the pipe. And again, Torrez walked him into some right hooks. It was an ugly fight, but Torrez gets the job done. And you know, as far as American heavyweights go, you know, it might be our best bet right now. So he's certainly given it all he's got, and we'll see what goes down moving forward. Peace.